Hello, I'm Dr. Ellen. I'm going to be talking today about CEO executive skills and how they can benefit all of us. We think of CEOs as very competent and very capable, and there are a lot of books and videos that have been written for CEOs about executive skills. But who made the rule that these executive skills should only be available to CEOs? Wouldn't it be easier and faster if people had these great skills at earlier times in their careers? Then they'd be able to meet higher levels and reach executive, CEO executive positions or other positions that they're looking for early in their careers if they had access to these skills. And I'm not talking about just CEO level skills, but any level, whether you're having a home business or even if you're the CEO of your home and you're the leader of your home. These skills that we talk about as CEO skills can benefit all of us because we're all CEOs of our lives. We make decisions about our work, about our home, about our family every day. And these skills can make it easier for us to reach our optimal level in business or work, whatever we'd like to accomplish at home with our families and in our own lives. So I'm going to talk about 10 skills and characteristics today that are usually reserved for CEOs, but can really benefit everybody. So I want everybody to have access to these. I teach these to all of my clients, whether they're CEO executives or people who are just new to CEO level or trying to reach that level, or whether they're just starting out in their work world, or whether they're full-time stay-at-home moms who have many goals that they want to accomplish. I share these with everybody, and everyone agrees that they can benefit from them. And again, we're the CEOs of our lives, so they can really make us stronger and help empower us for many reasons. So I want to suggest that you listen to this today actively. Have a piece of paper and a pen handy. And if I list a skill or a characteristic that you'd like to work on, that you'd like to learn about more or become stronger in, write it down. I'm going to talk today about 10 skills or characteristics, and they don't have any particular order other than the first one, which I think is really important for everybody. So let's dive in and let's get to the first skill, and that is planning and goal mastery. So CEO executives are really skilled at surveying a situation, at looking at a situation and thinking, what do we need here? How can I make this better? Or what's wrong here? What do I need to do to fix it? Or what's my goal here? What do I have to do to make this work better? And so they're really skilled at coming up with the needs or goals that they observe. They come up with a plan and they figure out how to meet their goal. So a need or a goal and how to meet that goal mastery, how to accomplish things for their business, for themselves, and at home. And CEOs are really skilled at that. But you don't have to be a CEO to want your goals to come true, to want to know the skills to bring your goals to fruition. I did a video recently on creating power goals, how to create goals that are really compelling and give you momentum, that you can learn how to go from goals to mastery to help bring them true to reality. So if this is an area that interests you, you might want to go and look at that video. I think it might help you. And again, if this skill, planning and goal mastery, is something that speaks out to you that you'd like to work on, put it on your list as a skill you'd like to work on. So that leads us to number 2, and that is focus and attention. And I refer to that as the focus bonus of CEOs. So CEOs probably have 100 things on their mind like the rest of us. They're thinking about the immediate challenge that's on their desk that they have to deal with. And they could be thinking about phone calls they have to make today, and conferences and meetings that they have to have today, and reports that they have to have done. But CEOs aren't ruminating and thinking about everything they have to do. They're really skilled at focusing on the one thing they're doing at any point in time. And many people, especially when I start working out with people, they describe what I call the brain gym or the brain jumble. And they're just jumbling around all these thoughts and worries and tasks that they have to do and needs and challenges that are on their mind. And they're trying to get their work done while they're jumbling everything around. A lot of people function that way. And when we do function that way, it really costs a lot of energy. It takes a lot of time for us to work that way. And we work less efficiently because we're just trying to keep track on what we're doing, but we're focusing on all these things. And you don't have to keep functioning that way. If you do that, it's really a learned habit. It's really an instinctive way of thinking that tends to come to us because we do have so many things that we need to get done. But again, it's a learned habit, and you could be just a skill set away from getting rid of that and learning the focus bonus, like effective CEOs do, to focus on the one thing they're doing and put aside for later the other things they need to get done. It saves CEOs time, it lowers the stress level, it makes them more efficient. And again, you could be just a skill set away from this. So if this is a skill that you'd like to have, put it on your list. And that brings us to number 3, and that's stress management. And it's a little bit related to number 2, because again, a lot of people who live in the stress cycle are ruminating about all the problems. What if this happens? And what if that happens? And it's a little bit different from the previous number because in stress, we're thinking of what ifs. And I'm worried about, but again, you have this brain jungle that's happening and you're ruminating on all these things. And again, it takes away from our efficiency. It causes a lot of stress in our lives and it lowers our efficiency. So again, the stress cycle is a learned habit that's ingrained in us over time, but it's a habit that you can learn to change. Again, you may just be a skill cycle away from it, just learning a skill set away from correcting that. So if this is something you'd like to work on that jumps out at you, list number 3, stress management on your list. That brings us to number 4. CEOs have steadfast confidence. So CEOs know that in their position, they're going to get challenges that come to their desk, and they're going to get big issues that come to their attention. And they don't cower when that happens. They don't hesitate, they don't freeze and get into the mode of, oh no, what do I do? What happened? Why did this happen to me? They just look at what happened, they decide what has to get done, and they move forward to come up with a plan to correct or improve the situation. And you may hear me a few times to say they move forward because CEOs are very adept at doing that. They don't get caught in the stress of living in a situation that's not the way they want it. They're very skilled, again, at moving forward, getting past where they're not comfortable, and getting to the point where they want to be. And again, why is this? Because they have the skills to focus, and because CEOs have steadfast confidence. So let's move on to number 5. And number 5 is time optimization. Now notice I didn't say time management. There are a lot of books and articles that talk about time management, but I really don't like that term. And the term that I use is time optimization, because really we all have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We all have the same amount of time. There's nothing that we can do, not even CEOs, to manage time, to get more time in our lives. What we can do is manage ourselves, manage our relationship with time and the way we use time. And CEOs are really skilled at that. They're skilled at using time efficiently to their best interest, not wasting time, but taking the time they have and using it well. And if this is a skill that you'd like to work on, make sure that you list time optimization on your list. That brings us to number 6, flexibility and adaptability. So CEOs know that times change, situations change, and things happen. And they expect that challenges will come to their desk. And when that happens, they are really adept at flexibility and adaptability. They're able to move forward. They're not stuck in one way of doing things. When times change, they're able to move forward. Again, I'm talking about moving forward. They're not stuck in one mode. They're open-minded. They're ready to consider, what do I have to do now? And there's nothing more like the COVID pandemic that challenged us to be flexible and adaptable in our lives. And it's the efficient CEOs who really had flexibility and adaptability in their arsenal of skills that moved ahead and that were able quickly to teach their workers and help their workers learn to work from home, learn to work virtually. So again, this is a skill that's so important for so many reasons. So if flexibility and adaptability is a skill you'd like to study and learn more about, put it on your list. So we just did number 6. Let's talk about number 7, and that is resilience, perseverance, and persistence. So CEOs know they've lived through challenging times before, and there are challenges that are going to come in the future. And they think back to their resilience reserves. They know, I've done this before, I can do this again. And that helps create momentum. It helps create persistence and confidence and what I call stick-to-itiveness. They don't get discouraged. They don't get frustrated. They don't cower and hesitate when challenges come their way. They don't get frustrated or discouraged. They just move along and do what they need to do. And part of that is they remember they have resilience reserves. And so if you'd like to study and learn more about your resilience reserves, put that on your list, and that can help you forge ahead also. So that brings us to number 8 on our list, and that is perspective. Effective CEOs are really talented at understanding other people's perspectives and viewpoints, not at caving in to other people's viewpoints, but understanding how other people see things and view things, especially when it may not be the same way as you view them. And that's really a gift to be able to understand and see another person's perspective, especially if you're a CEO, you're building a team, and understanding how the members of your team view what's going on can really help you learn to gather this team together, to get them to be on board, to help build momentum and cooperation and camaraderie. So again, perspective is really important. Whether you're the CEO of a big corporation or a small home business, or whether you're the leader of your family, perspective can be really helpful. In fact, think about if you have a child, if you have a child, a young child or a teenager, and you're trying to get them to cooperate, but they don't want to cooperate in something that you're asking. Well, you can yell and scream as much as you want, and that's not going to get them to voluntarily cooperate. So if you could really get a perspective on what are they thinking, what's in their view on this, you could really be bonding with your child, building a bond with your child, showing them that you really respect them, you understand how they feel about something. You might need their cooperation for something, but you understand how they feel. And empathy is really important. And it's a quality and characteristic that's really seen in effective CEOs and leaders. It's really a gift that gives back. If you can see how other people feel, it really makes you so much more effective as a team leader. And that brings us to number 9. We're really getting there. And number 9 is leadership. So effective CEOs are really strong leaders, and they lead with inspiration and with energy and momentum. And people want to be on their team because of the qualities that they exude as leaders. So there are a lot of qualities of leaders, and that could be a separate video in itself that I can do. And if anybody's interested, I can do that. But if you're with me to this point, you probably have some good ideas about the qualities and characteristics of effective leaders, like leading with enthusiasm and momentum and being good, strong role models. So if leadership is a quality that you'd like to examine and build, put that on your list as well. And that leaves us to number 10. So CEOs are go-getters. They don't just sit passively and experience life and wait for things to happen. They observe actively, and they analyze the situation and think, how do I want my life to be? What do I want to accomplish? What do I want to reach for at work? What do I want to do at home with my family or in my own personal life? And they're really gifted, not at being consumers of life who watch life happen, but at being creators of life, at creating a life at work and creating a life at home that's their dream, that meets their dream. And that's something that I wish for all of you, for everybody who's watching this video, learning how to create your dream life at work, at home, with your family, and for yourself. So that brings me to the list that I asked you to write. And I asked you to write down the skills and qualities that jump out at you, the ones that you'd like to work on. And the reason that I asked you to do that is I want you to come up with a plan, and I will help you with this, on how to move forward and how to gain these skills and characteristics. So here's what I want to tell you. Knowledge is only useful if you apply it. I'm going to say that again because it's important. Knowledge is only useful if you apply it. Otherwise, it's only words. And it would really make me really sad if you sat through all of this and you took your list and you decided, I'm just going to put this on the side and someday maybe I'll look at it again and maybe I'll forget it. I may not have ever pulled that page out again. I'd really like you to be able to take action and be a go-getter, like the CEO skill we talked about, and gain these skills that are important to you, whether you'd like to use them in work or at home or with family or for yourself, or most likely in all of the areas of your life. You can move forward. And what I'd like to tell you is that there are many mentors and experts and coaches out there in the world who can help you move forward. Of course, I am an expert in all of these areas. And if you're interested in working with me, I'll put a link in the comments section on how you can schedule a telephone appointment with me. And we can discuss whether it makes sense for you to work with me. I can also give you an email where you can reach out to me. I've made that really easy so people can reach me easily. My email is ellenwillhelp@gmail.com. So again, if you'd like to work with me on these skills, or sometimes people ask me to speak about these skills for their company or business or organization. So again, feel free to reach out to me if you feel that I can be of help to you. And again, it's my passion to help all people reach their best in life, their best in work, their best in home, and in their life. And talking about CEO skills, sometimes I work with CEOs who've been CEOs for a while. And in that case, I'm trying to help them upgrade their skills and make them more current. Sometimes I work with people who are just reaching the CEO level, or they're just below it and they want to move into the CEO level. And then I'm working with them on trying to upgrade and fine tune their skills. And very often I work with people who are more starting out in their work life. And I often work with full-time stay-at-home mothers who have a lot that they want to accomplish in their lives. And again, for everyone, CEO skills are really important. Just because they're often considered for CEOs doesn't mean they're not useful, and they really can help all of us. So I encourage you to think, no matter what level you're at, how these skills can really benefit you and help you move ahead with all the types of things that you're trying to accomplish in your life. And again, knowledge is only useful if you apply it. So let's think about how you might be able to apply today's message. So I hope this has been useful for you. If it is, I'm going to ask you to do two things. I'm going to ask you when we finish to hit the like button so other people will know this is useful. And second, hit the subscribe button so that when I post other videos, you'll be able to benefit and learn from them as well. And next week, I'm going to post another video on another topic related to becoming your best in work, in home, and in your life. So tune in with me again next week. If you have any topics that you'd like to suggest, feel free to put them in the comments or email me again, ellenwillhelp@gmail.com. Let me know any topics you'd like me to speak about, or if you'd like to work with me. And again, join me next week. I'm going to have another topic. So until then, stay strong, stay empowered, and let's talk again soon.